Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday evening to you all. Hope you guys are doing wonderful out there tonight and had yourselves a fantastic Sunday. Here to give you some updated information on this ongoing winter storm. We're going to get very detailed in this video. We're going to zoom into individual regions that shows towns and cities. So unless you live in like one of those intersection towns that barely shows up on the map, I think that these detailed forecast for snow maps will really help you folks. I think you'll certainly appreciate this. Take advantage of those timestamps. They're going to be up to help you guys out. Just skip to what you want to see. I don't blame you one bit. But they're up to help you guys and take advantage of. One of the big changes throughout the last 12 to 18 hours, I would say, is for the Mid-Atlantic. Where this is looking like it's going to trend to an all-out winter storm for certain areas. Speaking about you, DC to Baltimore, I think I know DC is definitely an area that has not got much winter weather over the last few winters, and I think that might change with this system. So I might have some good news for you snow fans around the Mid-Atlantic region. So we'll talk about that. So we'll break it all down for you folks. And then at the very end of the video, we're going to talk about another storm signal. Some of the same areas that are seeing winter weather right now could see it again here in the next few days as we get later into this work week. And it could be a bigger system for maybe the Mid-Atlantic and certainly the Northeast. So we'll give you some updated information on that. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling. So we got the ongoing winter storm right now. Now some of these areas in blue that you see, even the pink, you might not have a whole lot actually falling from the sky. You got a lot of virga out there. Remember, with Arctic air mass, the atmosphere really has to moisten up before something eventually falls from the sky, right? And that has been the case. You had to do that in Arkansas and Oklahoma earlier this morning, and you finally did, and then it started snowing pretty good. You're kind of doing that in Kentucky right now. Areas of Kentucky, western Kentucky, you're certainly getting snow flying around, and you're probably going to have to do it in eastern Tennessee over the next couple hours also. But I'm already hearing reports of, a little bit of flake action flying around and even kind of eastern sections of Tennessee at this hour that I'm making this, which is around 6:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Central time. But this is what's going on, a little compact winter storm. And I think that this is kind of round one, and round two will get going here in the next couple hours and then put an initial really kind of one last really heavy surge of snow that will extend all the way into the Mid-Atlantic. We're going to talk about all this in this video. We have some crazy lake effect snow ongoing, especially a very tight gradient ongoing around Buffalo Point South. I mean, they are getting blasted with 4 to 5 inch per hour rates. You got an intense band coming off Lake Ontario also, and you continue to have some streamers off all the Great Lakes. And then we had this intense snow squall that moved through New England today, and it's still kind of moving through areas of Maine, but this will head on out and not be a storyline anymore. But everybody else, not a whole lot going on. Some rain in Florida, but watches, warnings, and advisories. Winter storm warnings in the pink, winter weather advisories in the purple. But folks, I'm going to see if this is going to work, and it is. Cool, we're good. I think that this area right into here could end up getting winter storm warnings. I think that could change when we do a video tomorrow morning. But, the entire state of Tennessee, winter storm warnings, even a few counties in North Georgia, a few counties in the kind of the North Carolina side, the Appalachian Mountains, several counties in northern Alabama, pretty much the northern 1/3 of Mississippi has winter storm warnings, and you have the ongoing winter storm right now in Arkansas. A lot of freezing drizzle will continue throughout the next 12 to 24 hours in areas of Texas. So we're going to zoom into all these regions. But first off, I want to show you the current temperatures, and let's update this because this kind of leads into what we're talking about. Folks, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see where this Arctic boundary is, right? Louisiana and Mississippi are two crazy states right now. In Louisiana, Baton Rouge, it's a nice 60, 61 degrees. Might be out and about on the town, and New Orleans, whatever you got going on. It's a nice evening. But you go up to your neighbors up here in Shreveport, I mean, it's 28 degrees. And then Arkansas is just locked. I mean, you're getting snow flying around in like central and northern Arkansas in the single digits, and we expected this. I mean, it's very cold in Memphis in the mid-teens. I mean, it's just wild. So you can tell where the Arctic front is. It's right into here, and this is where it's set up, and it's kind of sagging right into here. And then everybody on this side where the check mark is, it just ain't. It'll get here, but by the time this Arctic front really moves in and kind of slashes through, the moisture will be gone. And that's why areas like South Carolina and 95% of Georgia and a good chunk of North Carolina and certainly Florida are not going to see anything from this really. So this is not our storm, but that is where the Arctic boundary is. I mean, it's already below zero up here in areas of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. So I want to show you that, and then let's go on and break this down. Let's talk about Texas first. All right, so we're going to start this around 8 p.m. Texas time. All right. If you're confused about the time frame, look over here. This is in Eastern time, so this is Central time. So back this up 1 hour. So this is starting around 8 p.m. So here in the next, well, from the point I'm making this video, here in the next hour or so. So you have the ongoing freezing rain, right? Falling right now. You're getting reports of freezing rain out here, icing. You'll keep this going. And we're going to have kind of some back development all the way back into sort of central Texas. So it looks like on radar, if you look right here, it looks like it's heading out, right? Well, it's not. You're going to get some additional development all the way back here. And in fact, the main event really hasn't got going. This is around 1 a.m. tonight. You got light freezing rain falling as far, west and southwest is like certainly Austin, San Antonio. You could eventually even get some freezing drizzle all the way down to Houston. And you keep this going, I mean, you're getting all the way, let's take it all the way to about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look at this freezing rain all the way down. I mean, it's not that close, but it's a couple hours north of Brownsville. I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, you could get some freezing rain along the coastal sections of Texas. You're still getting icing. You could start to mix with some sleet up here in northwest, like Texarkana, where you do have those winter storm warnings up into here. And you just keep on going. You're still going to deal with it. It's around 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning. You're still dealing with the icing. And I mean, look as we get into tomorrow afternoon, the sub-freezing temperatures eventually get all the way to Houston, and eventually you could get some freezing rain all the way down into the northern suburbs of Houston. Pretty wild stuff, guys. So could get some light freezing rain all the way into Houston tomorrow night. And then we could get some additional development. I mean, it's not over. I mean, if you get all the way to like after midnight, Monday night into Tuesday morning, look at this freezing drizzle along the coastal regions of Texas. Wild stuff, guys. So, do y'all have any? I don't know if y'all even have any. I mean, yeah, you got winter weather advisories. I think that they'll get issued around Houston. And I think these few counties right in here will end up getting winter weather advisories by the time we move into the next 12 hours or so. But you keep this going, and I mean, you eventually get freezing rain almost all the way down to Brownsville, Texas, Tuesday morning. And maybe get a period of it. And then finally, it starts to clear out. Pretty wild stuff. So freezing rain totals between now and Tuesday evening. I expect this to, probably increase again down here. And let's see if we got a new run to see if it's changed. It is not. I expect to get some forecast ice amounts all the way down here in South Texas. I do. I think just a couple 1/100ths of an inch of ice. Not much. Barely enough to actually visibly even see a glaze on like metal surfaces. But you get into this area right here. I mean, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of ice right here. Okay, in these communities here, I don't have every town memorized, I'll be honest, in Texas, but if you live kind of down here in this region, this looks around maybe the San Antonio area, point south, 1/10 of an inch of ice. And then, of course, 2/10 of an inch of ice here in eastern Texas, where you're going to get a prolonged period of heavier freezing rain over the next 24 hours. So let's talk about, we're pretty much going to cover Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama in this, and probably western Tennessee. So this is ongoing right now. In fact, we go on and pull up the radar from this region. This is what's going on around 6:30, about 5:30 Central Time. Look at all the reports of snow. Snow has moved into Nashville. This is the radar out of Memphis, so that's why you don't see blue over here. It's just out of range. But one thing you're noticing is you're not really snow down here near Oxford right now. All right. Tupelo, you're probably just getting freezing rain and sleet. So, this was an area that was forecasting pretty heavy snow amounts. So when are you going to switch to snow? That could be something that prevents higher snowfall totals. It's something to watch. I mean, El Dorado down here in southern Arkansas reporting snow. You're getting, you got schools closed in Monroe. Looks like you're just getting rain south of Shreveport right now. But, we kind of zoom out of this, and this is what we're seeing. And I will go down here. It says it's snowing in Waco. So freezing rain all the way down to College Station. So wild stuff, guys. I mean, it really is. So, but this is kind of the core of the storm ongoing right now. You got a report of blowing snow up here. This is starting to move into western Kentucky. So looks like people are doing an excellent job of reporting, which is huge when you have a system that's dealing with dry air. And as you can tell, no reports in eastern Tennessee right now, eastern Kentucky. That'll change over the next probably 2 to 4 hours. So we get this off your screen, and we'll keep this rolling here. So we'll start this off around 7 p.m. Central Time. Like I say, like I said earlier, if I forget to mention time frame, look over here and back it up 1 hour. So this is technically 7 p.m. So as you can tell, the HRRR model doing pretty well. You keep this going. How long will you stay kind of just a wintry mix of sleet and freezing rain in northern Mississippi? We'll have to watch. So this is kind of the first round, and then you start to get to about midnight tonight. You get this steady streamer of light to moderate snow into Nashville. It looks like it might stop in Dyersburg, but we're not sure. Florence, you're getting a good bit of snow at this point. Not a good bit, but just some light snow. And we're going to focus, don't focus too much on eastern Tennessee yet. We got a separate a thing for that. Okay, let's just talk about western Tennessee and Mississippi and Alabama here. So we take it all the way to, let's just go on and go. This is around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sun is about to rise, and this is what we're looking at. We're getting widespread freezing rain across the northern half of Louisiana, freezing rain all the way into Jackson. It looks like the snow has, if you wake up in Memphis tomorrow and nothing's falling, do not think the storm is over. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. All right, but at this point, you're finally getting some snow into Huntsville. All right, a solid kind of band of snow, and not that on and off stuff. And then here comes that big last push. Snow begins to fall again in Memphis. And I think by the time we're getting into tomorrow morning, some more cold air is kind of oozed in kind of the upper levels of the atmosphere, a little bit further south in Mississippi, Tupelo. You're probably starting to get close to getting all snow at this point. And then this is when the snow could really add up for a period. This is around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's still snowing in Memphis. You're still getting on and off snow, and even in Arkansas, we're getting this steady streamer of freezing rain. We'll see if they'll increase the freezing rain totals in this area as you get a prolonged period of freezing rain. But you look at this. Look at northern Alabama. I mean, if you could get some more precipitation down in Birmingham, it's really close to freezing at this point. But it's snowing pretty good around Huntsville points north into the southern Cumberland Plateau in this region. You're still getting light to moderate snow in Nashville throughout the afternoon, and this continues for northern Alabama. The thing about northern Alabama is, who's going to see snow? Who's going to be seeing sleet? Who's going to see freezing rain? But one thing I watch is, check out this other initial push of precipitation on the HRRR model around 5-6 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. This starts to get some freezing rain falling around the Meridian region. So that's something to watch. Starts to move into the Tuscaloosa region. Birmingham, you start to see some freezing rain tomorrow night. You're still getting a kind of a mixed area up here in northern Alabama. This could cut down snowfall totals. It's just something to watch. You continue to get freezing rain, kind of moving through the central areas of Louisiana, just on and off light freezing rain based off the purple. And I should have mentioned this right off the dot. The purple's freezing rain, the orange is sleet, and then the blue is snow on this. And then something we watch is certainly North Georgia, but we won't talk about that yet. And then here comes kind of a third push here. This is something we got to watch. And this brings a prolonged period of light freezing rain into Birmingham tomorrow evening. That's something we have to watch. Could put a glaze on stuff. And, as we are getting into, our Tuesday morning, we could get a little period of freezing rain into Atlanta. And then this finally is over with. So this is a broad look at how much snow is expected in this region, and they're still going for the higher totals right as of right now in northern Mississippi, a 6 to 8 inch swath. Remember I told you I give you my own takes of this. I don't know about those snowfall totals in northern Mississippi. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer in southwest Tennessee. I would say this. I would say you bet on the lower end of that. That's just my take. That's my take. Might be wrong. But that's what I want to say. I just want to get that out there. That's what I think. I don't know how much snow's on the ground in Little Rock, but this is very, very dry, fluffy snow. So an inch of snow and very dry, fluffy snow barely looks like an inch of snow. It's just the way it is when this is real powdery. But look at northern Alabama. Florence, maybe they're going for about 4 to 5 inches of snow. Huntsville, about 2-3 inches of snow. And then look at these areas in Tennessee. And in Nashville, going for about 4 inches of snow. It's already starting to add up out there right now. 2 to 3 inches of snow by the time we're done with this in Dyersburg. And then we're going to talk about our folks in eastern Tennessee here in a second. I just want to kind of cut it off right here. Ice totals from this, what are we expecting right now? I expect, they're going for a couple 100ths of an inch of ice in Birmingham. They got this area south of Huntsville that might get over a 1/10 of an inch of ice. And then look, I really think northern Louisiana and extreme southern Arkansas, even into western Mississippi, gets kind of the most ice. But it isn't huge totals. Thank the good Lord, because freezing rain stinks. We don't want that, right? But they're going for about a 1/10 of an inch of ice in Jackson, Mississippi. A few 100ths of an inch of ice all the way down to Baton Rouge, guys. So this might extend a little bit deeper and increase in the Birmingham area. That's one thing we will watch for. All right, so a couple individual areas. Here's Little Rock. This is pretty old, not even worth really showing. This is ongoing right now, but this was kind of what they were expecting earlier this morning. I don't know what the updated graphic is. I don't know if this area is going to get that much snow. We'll see. You guys will have to let me know. Pine Bluff, east and southeast of Little Rock. If you're viewing from that area, please let me know. I would love to know how much actual snow you get in this region. All right, we're starting to move into the Memphis area. This was updated about 3 p.m. this afternoon Central Time. They're still going for about 4 inches of snow in Memphis. But, you go down to like Oxford, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Holly Springs, 6 to 8. Tupelo now, they have actually increased it to 3 to 4 inches of snow. Down here to Cleveland, 1 to 2 inches. How do y'all pronounce that? Grenada, 1 to 2 inches of snow now. And look at the far northwest corner of Alabama, 6 to 8 inches of snow. It's pretty wild stuff. I don't know about that, but we'll see. And you look at this graphic, it's a little bit different. This is in Alabama, and this was updated a long time ago too. So they've actually increased snow based off the graphic from Memphis. But this morning they were going for about 3 to 4 inches of snow in Muscle Shoals. And let's see if this will update. Nah, this was spam. So, and then Huntsville about 2 to 3 inches of snow, which I like the idea of that. And then the ice, that you could get a couple 100ths of an inch of ice to a 1/10 of an inch of ice in Birmingham, and I like that forecast. But in Coleman, Hamilton, Fort Payne, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of ice to about 2/10 of an inch of ice, maybe a 1/4 inch. I would say you're not going to get on that high end, but we'll see what happens. We got the Tennessee, Nashville. Latest graphic, I think this was from this afternoon. 3 to 4 inches of snow in Nashville. This is already snowing right now. Crossville, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Jamestown, 4 to 6. Columbia to Waynesboro, going for that higher end. Somebody get a half a foot. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's break down the Southern Alps region, and this extends all the way to North Georgia. We're going to include Kentucky here. We're going to include Eastern Tennessee, even the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee, and then into West Virginia and Virginia. So, and then we're going to have a separate area for the Mid-Atlantic. So, as you know, we take another look at this radar. Right now, we are reporting a little bit of mixed sleet and ice. Where is that? That's just outside the Chattanooga area. So this is moving in. Look at Huntsville. Huntsville's seeing a little bit of a mixture. So Knoxville, where we're about to show you, is now a jackpot area for this storm. I'm not reporting anything right now. But, this is what the radar could look like around, when is this? This is around 8 p.m. So here in the next hour or so. Look at the snow moving across Kentucky, taking over most of the state. And, unfortunately for my folks in Ohio, this is not going to get to y'all. Maybe a little light snow. But watch what happens here. All right, here comes this big band. And this could be a heavy band. All right, here's your initial band of snow that moves in. It extends all the way into Virginia. We're only going to talk about Western Virginia here and then West Virginia. All right, at this point, it's around 2 a.m. in the morning, overnight tonight. Still snowing in Nashville. Snow is finally falling in areas of northeast Tennessee, my friends in the Tri-Cities region. Snowing pretty good in the northern areas, in the central areas of the Cumberland Plateau. Snow's already moved to Knoxville. Snowing up here in eastern Kentucky, southern Kentucky, still snowing in Bowling Green. All these areas right in here. Snow is even getting all the way into, western sections of Virginia. You keep this going. All right, this is kind of your first band, which never lets up. This is where I think you'll get kind of the most snow in Kentucky, potentially. We're starting to wake up. It's about 7 a.m. This is when that band really doubles down here. And this is when this begins to sneak into the Chattanooga area. If you don't get any snow in Chattanooga tonight, which I mean, it's already really close right now, it really picks up as we get into tomorrow morning. And this is when the snow could try to sneak into northern North Carolina. It's snowing in Boone. It's snowing in Mount Airy. It's snowing just north of Hickory and Greensboro and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And to keep this going, there's so many areas to mention. Look at this heavy band of snow riding over the spine of the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee and North Carolina. And it is snowing like crazy around 10 to 11 a.m. tomorrow morning based off the latest HRRR model in extreme northwest Georgia. And Chattanooga, Cleveland, you're getting rocked. I like to use all kinds of terminology. I made a post earlier saying Eastern Tennessee is going to get smoked with heavy snow, and I mean that in the best way possible if you're a winter weather fan. If you're not a winter weather fan, I don't really know what to say. Sorry, I guess. But I would just make the best out of it. That's what I would do. But anyways, you stop it here. It's around 10 a.m. It's snowing in Blacksburg, Roanoke. It's snowing all the way. What is that? Lynchburg or Lynchville? I'm sorry. Danville. It's snowing. It's snowing in Mount Airy. It's getting all the way to Charlottesville, which we'll talk more on here in a second. It's snowing up into Charleston, West Virginia. You got a little thin band getting all the way to extreme southern Ohio. And you keep going, and I mean, look at this. I mean, I think we got some changes that could occur overnight with this system. I'm going to be up really early just to kind of watch this. But man, look at this. I'm very tempted to drive up here, but I know it's going to be a bad idea. But I really want to see this. I just love snow so much. But Asheville, what you going to see from this? This is tough. This is around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's around 2 p.m. It's still snowing like crazy in the Tennessee Valley, the Cumberland Plateau. One last push making its way into Nashville. Look at this snow. I mean, look at this heavy band of snow here in western Virginia in this area. Look at this heavy snow. This is in North Carolina, folks. Mount Airy, if the HRRR model is correct, it's going to get overachieved with this system. This band right here is very heavy. It's very thin, but it's very heavy. Someone's going to get hit hard. If there's anywhere where I think someone is going to get what they forecast, I would say it's not Memphis and them folks. And I hope you do get 4 to 6 inches of snow over there. I would say it's in this area right here. And in fact, they've increased the snowfall totals for Eastern Tennessee. I'm spending way too long on this, but it's just, I'm excited for you folks. We get into tomorrow afternoon, still snowing in all of Eastern Tennessee. You're hanging on to it for dear life. I mean, I even think I don't know what towns are in this extreme northwestern counties of Georgia, but I mean, you could even get some appreciable winter weather. That's why you got winter storm warnings. How much snow are you going to get in like the Smokies? I think someone can get a foot in the Smokies. Gatlinburg, you're getting hit hard. Knoxville, all these areas. Pigeon Forge, getting snow. You're getting into tomorrow evening. That one big push kind of moves into the mid-Atlantic, and then you kind of get one last third round that moves in that kind of delivers some more snow. And then you start to get more so mixing down here as the warm nose sort of takes over. And we have to watch, after getting a few inches of snow, you could get a glaze of ice to kind of wrap it all up sort of late tomorrow night in the Chattanooga area, the Cleveland area. This says it changes to freezing rain. You might end up mixing also into Eastern Tennessee, but I mean, folks, it continues to snow very hard. This kind of consolidates up here in the middle of the night tomorrow night. It's snowing pretty good, like around 2 a.m. Tuesday morning. And just one last hurrah with this system before it heads on out. Incredible. I'm excited for you folks. A broad look at the snowfall totals from this. This is what it's looking like. Look at Eastern Kentucky and how it's Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky, Southeast Kentucky, Western Virginia, West Virginia, and Eastern Tennessee. The totals have really increased. And I would also watch sneaking into Maggie Valley, Lake Junaluska region. I would watch with this. You guys could certainly get some heavier snow. That's something that I think there's just going to be some areas that are going to be sneaky. I would say you could get more than this in extreme northwest Georgia. So ice from this is what they're expecting. And I believe this. I think you get a little bit of a glaze of ice into Eastern Kentucky. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call Tennessee Kentucky. Eastern Tennessee. And then the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. All right, so let's zoom into some of these areas. Let's start off our friends up here in National Weather Service in Paducah, Kentucky. Because I know I didn't mention y'all much in that at all, but I will show you a graph. 1 to 2 inches of snow in Paducah. Hopkinsville, 1 to 2 inches of snow. This is kind of ongoing right now, right? Okay. We move a little bit further east. National Weather Service out of Louisville. 2 to 3 inches of snow in Lexington. Richmond, 2 to 3 inches of snow. 4 to 6 in Albany. Bowling Green, 2 to 3 inches from this. 1 to 2 inches in Elizabethtown. And maybe an inch or less in Louisville. You move down to Morristown. This is going to be an awesome graphic to break down. All right. They have an excellent graphic up for us to talk about. Look at all the towns listed in this. First off, Chattanooga, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Cleveland, 3 to 4 inches of snow. I mean, look on the map. It's right here for you folks. Pause it if you need to. Maryville, 6 to 8 inches of snow. Knoxville, 6 to 8 inches of snow. Man, I don't know what I would do for 6 to 8 inches of snow. I mean, that would be awesome. So a great graphic for this region. Stop it if you need to. And, here's another zoomed in region, zoomed in area a little bit further north and east. Look at this. Stop the screen if you need to. This is what the Gatlinburg, 4 to 6 inches of snow. This is kind of one of those events where, typically Gatlinburg is kind of the place to be because you're right up against the mountains. But, you get more once you move into the valley. So, a nice snowfall in this entire area. It has many towns on this, so it's really awesome to see. And we get off this, and they got another cool graphic right here. This is kind of a zoomed-in area of the Tri-Cities region. 4 to 6 inches of snow in Kingsport. Bristol, 6 to 8 inches of snow. You're getting up into Virginia and areas of Kentucky there. Morristown, 6 to 8 inches of snow. Johnson City, 4 to 6 inches of snow. And this area could increase. Very well could. So, go down to our neighbors down here in Georgia. Trenton, that's a good city right here in far northwest Georgia. 1 to 2 inches of snow. So, if you really want to see snow, you don't have to drive far. You got to drive a couple hours north of Atlanta. There you are. National Weather Service out of Jackson, which I should have showed this when I showed Kentucky. I don't know why. But Harlan, I got a buddy in Harlan. 5 to 8 inches of snow. Sheesh. That's nice. Hazard, 4 to 7 inches of snow. London, 2 to 5. A little bit more wider variety here. But Pikeville, 4 to 6. So it's a nice snowfall. And then we look at our friends in West Virginia, and they don't have a really good graphic here for whatever reason. They show low end and high end. So I guess average these two amounts. Charleston, a low end, maybe an inch. High end, 5 inches. So 3 inches. I know you barely can probably see this on your screen, but it looks like Logan's going for around 3 inches of snow. Snowshoe, maybe 2 to 3 inches of snow. Elkins, 2 to 3 inches of snow in these regions. You notice I'm saying a different number than what's actually on the screen. That's just because they have a high-end snowfall. So they don't have a really good graphic in this region. Then my folks here in the National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg, which covers kind of the southwestern sections of the mountains of North Carolina. Waynesville, but I'm telling you, if you're Lake Junaluska, and getting into this kind of area right in here that's always favored, we could see more. I could see this increasing. This is an area to watch for this storm. It really is. And this was old. This is an old graphic. In fact, I'm gonna try to see if there's a new graphic from this. In fact, I don't know if there is. Let's see if there's a new graphic from our folks in the Greenville Spartanburg. We're gonna jump on my Twitter real quick, see if there's anything I can't spell. Look at all the bread gone in Knoxville. That's always nice to see. It always excites me seeing all the bread gone. I don't know about y'all, but they got an updated graphic. Here it is. And sure enough, in Waynesville, that's very small. 2 to 3 inches of snow they're now calling for in Waynesville. So they've changed it. They've changed it, man. They're increasing the snow. And Newland, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Burnsville, 1 to 2. So they're increasing the snowfall in these areas. I wouldn't be surprised if we get winter storm warnings in Waynesville. Not surprised one bit. Then we go up to Virginia and areas of North Carolina. 2 to 3 inches of snow in Boone. I could see that increasing. 1 to 2 inches of snow in Mount Airy. Roanoke, 1 to 2. Blacksburg, 3 to 4. Lynchburg, 2 to 3. Lewisburg, 4 to 6. So let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic. This is an area that I'm excited for people up here because this is an area that just, Delmarva, D.C. area, Maryland, Delaware, VA, even New Jersey has gotten kind of some bad luck with storms lately. No problem with the cold air with this, folks, for the most part. Well, we'll start in the middle of the night tonight. Here comes the band of snow, kind of a frontogenesis event. This band that kind of moves in very quickly, this could be a pretty decent front-end thumping of snow that basically slashes through northern VA and basically moves right into the Delmarva region. This is falling in a form of light snow. It's around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. You got snow flying around the Delmarva region. It's starting to get starting to try to move into DC. When I'm at first with this, you're going to be dealing with a lot of dry air tomorrow in the Delmarva region. I really do. I think you are. And then you got to moisten up that atmosphere. And then look at this. We start to get into about mid-morning tomorrow morning. It is snowing in Richmond. It's getting very close to the Hampton Roads region. Snowing in southern sections of Virginia. Snowing all the way. It's trying to get into Raleigh. It's trying. Northern counties of North Carolina, it's snowing. And it doesn't quite make it down there. But look at this band that gets going around the Richmond area. That would dump a few inches of snow at minimum if this is the way it plays out. And you're thinking DC's not getting anything yet. We get into until tomorrow afternoon, and then look how the band pivots north. And there's that band, guys. I'm very intrigued to see how this band plays out right here. This is going to be wild to watch unfold. This is around 2 to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's snowing across the Delmarva region, but I mean, kind of the intercoastal, coastal regions of Maryland's getting rocked. I mean, southern Maryland, an area that just has not had a lot of good luck with winter weather lately. Delaware either. It is snowing hard. And here it comes, kind of pivoting into the D.C. area. I think it'll be snowing in D.C. area more than what it's showing right here. But someone could get a surprise in southern Virginia, the Delmarva region from this. It's starting to snow in Long Island tomorrow evening. Southern New Jersey, all of Delaware. And then it starts to snow at a pretty decent clip. D.C. to Baltimore, even getting into southeast PA at this point. And you continue. And this round kind of breaks off. Could bring the coastal sections of southern New England some snow. It could be heavy out in Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. It's snowing light to moderate in Long Island. Gets into New York City. And then there's another wave that reloads behind this into the middle of the night tomorrow night. And this is when it starts to fall at a pretty heavy clip in the D.C., Baltimore, Philly area. Northern VA. Even western Maryland, all of Maryland. And here it comes. This round probably misses most of those areas that gets hit maybe tomorrow. But this is a steady band getting into after midnight in the D.C., and this is going to move into all of New Jersey, New York City, starts to get into southern New England, and it turns into an all-out light to moderate event. And, I mean, kind of the same way with back in Tennessee, you start to get some kind of heavier burst at the tail end of this. And then it wraps up. But, I mean, you still got snow flying around midday Tuesday in the Delmarva region. In fact, it's still snowing in New York City midday Tuesday. And we got to watch what this moisture does right into here. So I think that you'll get some winter storm warnings issued around the D.C. area. And you might get them issued just deeper into Virginia. It's something we got to watch for sure. I will compare this. Let's compare this with, like, the NAM. Let's look at the NAM and see how it evolves this snow. And here comes the NAM. Here it comes. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It has an epic band of snow down here. And it hits you guys pretty hard with the first band of snow in D.C. Very hard, actually. And, it looks like it puts a little bit more of a warm nose involved. And I will tell you the NAM is good at that. But the NAM really takes snow very far inland. Like deeper into PA, Virginia. And that's going to be something to watch for this. But snowfall expected more of a broad look, and there it is. There's that swath of accumulating snow that they have increased now throughout the Mid-Atlantic, the Delmarva, into southern New England. But let's go on and dive into some of these areas. All right, so this is the National Weather Service out of Wakefield. This was around 4 p.m. today. Going for about an inch of snow in Richmond. That could increase. Salisbury, around an inch. Cambridge, 1.5 inches. Farmville, 1 to 2 inches. 1.3 inches is what they're saying. They're very specific with the National Weather Service in Wakefield, as you can tell. Okay, and then you look at this. I was shocked, and a lot of people in this area were shocked also at how much they are forecasting in Washington D.C. Folks, they're forecasting 4 to 5 inches of snow in Washington D.C. now. Baltimore 3 to 4. Bel Air 3 to 4 inches. I should know that. Fresh Prince. So, Frederick 4 to 5 inches of snow. Hagerstown 3 inches. Fredericksburg, 4 inches. Charlottesville, 3 to 4 inches. So, yeah, a pretty nice event moving in for you folks. This is materializing into something more substantial. National Weather Service out of Mount Holly includes Delaware, and then New Jersey, 1 to 2 inches of snow in Dover. It does have a graphic saying you could mix with rain. But, Allentown, 3 to 4 inches. Mount Pocono, 3 to 4. Reading, 3 to 4 inches of snow. So, you go to the National Weather Service up in State College, and they're thinking a little bit of light snow for you folks too. So 1 to 2 inches of snow, State College. So yeah. And then you go to the National Weather Service in New York City. NYC going for about 2.5 inches of snow. So, here comes your chance to get that 1 inch streak. I'm not sure if y'all got a 1 inch from the last couple of events. I don't think y'all have. But New Haven, 2.1 inches of snow. And then you look up here in southern New England. Here's kind of a quick view at this. Snow overspreads southern New England. Gets all the way into the coastal regions of Maine. I mean, and this moves in tomorrow. More so Tuesday morning. The first band could get further north than what this is showing late tomorrow night. But it's the second band that moves in that really could bring. It's snowing at some very cold temperatures too. Arctic air is in. So this is going to accumulate on everything. And it tries to really crank this up in southeast Mass as we get into Tuesday afternoon as a low tries to develop. So that is something we need to watch in this region. It is. Snowfall between now and Wednesday midday. Going for, decent events, light to moderate events in this region. And, just kind of taking a zoomed in look. For now, they're going to 2 to 3 inches of snow in Boston. Springfield, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Hartford, 2 to 3 inches of snow. So a decent event moving in if you're a winter weather fan. So that's it with that update. I do want to briefly mention this also. As we're going to start this Wednesday evening, it finally clears out. Still got the epic lake effect snow bands going. And as we're getting into about Thursday afternoon, another system moves in. Quick blast of Arctic air following it. And we got a band of light moderate snow across the Ohio Valley and areas in the mid-south again. And I mean, you look at the latest GFS, it brings winter weather once again a late Thursday night into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, Tennessee. Light snow up in here, another light snow event for Pennsylvania, the Ohio Valley. And then it even brings snow into northern Georgia in a wintry mix. I know I've had a couple of comments saying it's not wintry mix, it's wintry mix, but I'm just going to talk how I talk, guys. But a moderate snow falling kind of into the mid-Atlantic and northeast region. And what does it do down here? Man, it gets awfully close in South Carolina and North Carolina. In fact, there's a splotch of blue right here in North Carolina. We need to watch the storm, I would say, from North Carolina points north. Delivers some back-end snow from this as we get our Friday afternoon going. And then here's when the low tries to develop. And this could potentially be something bigger for the Northeast. We just got to watch it. Something big could form right into here. We'll talk more on this when we can get past this storm system ahead of us. But we need to watch this as we get into this weekend. And same thing with the Euro. Euro's a little bit different. It's a little bit warmer initially. Brings a freezing rain mix into Tennessee as we're getting into late kind of Thursday evening. Snow in Kentucky again. Another just kind of just a wintry event in these areas. And I bring snow, a moderate area of snow across the Appalachian Mountains brings snow into D.C. again. And then here it is. Here's that low developing, trying to crank up a snowstorm across New England, the mid-Atlantic, and southern New England. And it gets going here. Look at this snow. The GFS and the Euro show the same thing for New Jersey. Tries to develop something here. Heavy snow in New Jersey. Snowing pretty good in Long Island, southeast, southern New England. And it just doesn't quite turn into one of those huge events. But, the signal's there. You look at the GFS. There's that signal across Ohio, the Ohio Valley areas of the Alps. There's a signal down here also for areas of the northern deep south, mid-south. We'll have to watch that. Could be some more snow on top of more. And there's the signal for the mid-Atlantic and areas of New England. It's kind of in two different areas. One right here and then one right here. It's kind of weird. We got to figure that one out. So that's getting into kind of late week this weekend. And then here's the European. Same thing. It's definitely further north in this area. And then we start to get into the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast. And it's definitely a solid signal for like New Jersey, southern New England. This could increase. Definitely a solid signal for New Jersey. Could be a very, very winter-like week ahead of us for the eastern U.S. Everybody except South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, just about. So that's the way it is. That's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy the snow, guys, and I'll talk to you again in the morning.